Alright, hello everybody, and welcome back to Wright is Atterny. So before I start this episode, I want to say something and explain something real quick. So the other day, after the episode 1 recap, or episode 3 recap, rather, I recorded 2 more episodes of the, basically, of the trial and after the trial. Only to basically come back to editing today and realize, hey, there's an echo going on in the background. And basically all that hard work of me going through the trial and everything else is basically ruined. So just now, before I started this recording, I basically breezed through in remembrance of every single sequence in one shot. I didn't look up what to do on the internet. I only looked up where I just the day before the trial, like the last tail end of the episode 1, just to see where I needed to leave off. And yeah, so from here, it's technically I'm playing off of memory, but I'm still bound to get something wrong during this trial, at least. Or I think this is either this episode is going to be the trial or after the trial. So it's very likely that this episode is going to be the trial in general. So hopefully my audio itself does not repeat itself. I will stop here if possible just to see if anything else is cut out. But for now, let us just try to keep the peace and continue on with this trial. Alright. October 18th, 10 a.m., District Court, courtroom number 4. Hey, Andrew. Court is now in session. Court is now in session for the trial of Mr. Will Powers. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Very well. Mr. Edgeworth, your opening statement, please. The prosecution will now show the court that at 2:30 p.m. on October 15th, the defendant, Mr. Will Powers, killed the fellow actor Jack Hammer in Studio 1 of Global Studios. It is impossible for anyone else to have committed these heinous crimes. The evidence presented during the trial will all point to this fact. I see. Very well. I would like to move on to some testimony. Mr. Edgeworth, the prosecution may call its first witness. Very well. I call a most familiar face, Detective Gumshoe, to the stand. Alright, Detective, if you would briefly describe this case to the court. Yes, sir. I'll explain it with the guide map here. To understand this case, it's important to grasp the layout of the studios. See? Here's the employee area. Actors did a run-through of their action scenes during the morning here. This is the main gate to the studios. The security lady that works at the studios was here at 1 p.m. on that day. Past the security station, there is a gate, see? Past that are the studios. And here it is, Studio 1. This is the scene of the murder where the body was found. Now, on the day of the murder, October 15th, there were only 3 people here. The victim, Jack Hammer, the defendant, Will Powers, and a young woman, the production assistant. All the production staff were in the employee area until noon. Whoop. Then after lunch, the victim, Jack Hammer, went to Studio 1. Right after that, at 1 p.m., the security lady got to the guard station. Now jump ahead to later that day, 5 p.m. The production staff came to Studio 1 to perform a rehearsal. Needless to say, the rehearsal was cancelled. The time of death was 2:30 p.m. The samurai spear found lodged in the victim's chest was the murder weapon. That's the case in brief. Anyone like to hear that again? No, oh, crap. I'll edit this out. So the murder weapon was a spear. How medieval. Alright, so now we have the samurai spear found stuck in the chest of the victim. Your Honor, this case is quite simple if you ask one question. And that question is, what did the security lady at the guard station see? Understood. Let's call the security officer to the stand. So the running gag in Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney is that Edgeworth... will the witness declare her name? So the running gag is that every single time Edgeworth basically calls upon people to the stand and they ask like for their name, profession, etc., it just gives you a clear, brief look as to like who they're dealing with in court. Aren't you a handsome fellow? I'm afraid I'm a bit flustered. Your name, please. Oh, dearie, no need for you to be embarrassed. Just call me Grandma. Your name, please! Seems Edgeworth has a bit of trouble getting his witnesses to say their names. Yeah, that's the gag. Wendy, OldBag, dearie. Just call me Grandma. It's practically my name. Even when I was young, I was OldBag. I mean, that is an unfortunate last name to have. Objection! I object to the witness's talkativeness. Objection sustained. The witness will refrain from rambling on the stand. I was just getting to the good part, dearie. Perhaps we can get to the testimony. Now, the witness was stationed at the main gate on the day of the murder, correct? Yes, see, I was. And to get to the scene of the murder, someone would have to pass by you. You know your stuff, dearie. Alright, you may begin your testimony. She sure is one hell of an old bag. On the day of the murder, I arrived at the guard station at 1 p.m. Poor old Hammer and the rest had been doing a run-through there since the morning. I had some errands to run that morning. Anyway, it was 1 o'clock when I got to the guard station. I was at the main gate from then until 5 o'clock. Now, the murder happened at 2:30 p.m., right? Wait, as I'm reading this kind of makes... There are holes in this, but it's like, she was there until 1 to 5... hang on, I'm probably getting ahead of myself. Interesting to me because a certain man walked by me at 2 o'clock p.m. It was Powers, that man right here, right there, and he was heading towards the studio. Alright. You saw the defendant then? Very well, let's begin the cross-examination. Mr. Wright? Yes, Your Honor. Alright, now we just press her on everything. On the day of the murder, I arrived at the guard station at 1 p.m. Poor old Hammer and the rest have been doing a run-through since that morning. Yeah, press. A run-through. They were working out a scene between the Steel Samurai and the evil miscreant. They got to the basics figured out by noon and were to use the afternoon for practice. Rehearsal was supposed to start at 5. That's why poor old Hammer went to Studio 1 in the afternoon. So Powers was in his dressing room sleeping when he was supposed to be practicing. So basically he slept through practice, which is not a good thing. Talk about a laid-back hero. There was a run-through in the morning. Why did you only get there afternoon? No way. You had errands to run? What kind of errands? Oh, well, you know. No, I don't know. Answer the question. Actually, I was watching poor Hammer and Powers. Observing, you know. Observing? Weren't you supposed to be at the guard station? Whippersnapper, I told you I locked the gate, didn't I? I did my job. I mean, normally this wouldn't be something I would question too much, but if someone died and you were supposed to watch your station and you left, that's technically on you. I'm not sure your boss would see that the same way. Anyway, I watch him as run through, always. Never missed one in all my years, wow. Wow, I want to see a Steel Samurai run through too. You should quit being a spirit medium and take up guard duty. Not a bad idea, tempting. Anyways, it was 1 o'clock when I got to the guard station. I was at the main gate from then until 5. So you were watching there the whole time, no breaks, not even a second. Of course! I'm a professional, you know. Would a professional leave their post to... Are you criticizing how I do my job, what a snapper? No, it's just after seeing you eat those donuts in the guard station. I can watch the gate and eat donuts at the same time. It's a talent and a skill. Snipper... What? Wait, the Snipper Whapper. What the hell? Snipper Whapper. Old OldBag is losing it, Nick. Why don't you raise an objection? So the witness was on duty through the afternoon the whole time. Very well. What did you see? When the murder happened at 2:30 p.m., right? Interesting to me because I saw a certain man walk by me at 2 p.m. 2 o'clock, you're sure? Sure as spit. Well, who was the man? Really, you should try not to get so excited at your age, you might strain something. No, don't get your skivvies a lunch. I'll tell you who it was. Is it Will Powers, that man in the studio? Option. No, not that kind of. Damn it. Alright, options. No. Present. There we go. Let me get this straight, OldBag, or Miss OldBag. You've been saying since yesterday that you saw Mr. Powers, correct? But you're talking about the man in this photo, aren't you? Just a moment, Mr. Wright. Let me see that photo. What is this exactly? None other than the Steel Samurai, defender of Neo Old Tokyo. Miss OldBag, is this the Mr. Powers that you saw? Of course, didn't your mama teach you any sense, Sonny? Anyone can plainly see that's Powers, right? No, they can't! Well, I mean, I wonder. True, Mr. Powers does play the role of the Steel Samurai. But that doesn't mean Mr. Powers is the Steel Samurai! I know that! I wasn't born yesterday! No one in this court is accusing you of that, Miss... the witness. Is having trouble calling her OldBag, apparently. However, you do not have proof that the person in this photo is Mr. Will Powers, do you? Humph, nosy old man. Of course I have proof. What? Huh? Even Edgeworth is surprised? The prosecution would like to ask the witness. Please make known all the information in your profession ahead of time. How's I to know everyone would be so nosy? You should be ashamed, all of you. If literally you're going to court and you're being trialed against murder, literally everything and anything you say, do, or have will be held against you, which is scary as hell. Anyway, I showed that photo to the young detective. He told me this ain't any good. This isn't any good as evidence, pal. He didn't even give it a second look. Oh. Wow. Old OldBag has left even Edgeworth speechless. She's good. Let's hear about your proof then. Man in the photo. I never say anything I don't mean, mind you. That morning, do the run-through of the action scene. I saw Powers trip and fall. He broke one of the props, it was a big mess. Apparently, he sprained his ankle pretty bad. Now, look at that picture. You can see he's dragging his legs, see? Clear as day. That's how I knew it was Powers, Happy. So he sprained his ankle. Very well. Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness. She's gotta be hiding something. I'll press her until she squeals. Phrasing, Phoenix, phrasing. The man in the photo. Never say anything I don't mean. It's a big mess. He broke a prop. sure did. His own samurai spear. The samurai spear, the murder weapon? Luckily, I was there with my duct tape to fix it. This struck me as a significant detail. I better write this down in the court record. Okay. Apparently, he sprained his ankle pretty bad. You can see him clear as day. Are you absolutely sure? Let's take a look at that picture again. Okay. So he's walking strangely because he was injured. It does look like he's dragging his foot. See? And you didn't trust me, whippersnapper. That's how I knew it was Powers. Happy. RB. Let's see what we have. My attorney's bags, Jack's autopsy report, the guide map, card key. Okay, no, I didn't do right. Yeah, this is... So that little blue bar is basically like the... If you press the wrong thing with evidence at the wrong time, you would actually... Like, once that bar is empty, the court session will end and you have to start where you last saved off. So that is also very scary. Alright, that didn't go so well. No, I don't mean to present. Was Mr. Powers' ankle badly sprained? Not so bad that he couldn't walk around. He went to his dressing room to rest up after lunch. Thus the nap. Anyway, I saw him dragging his foot when he walked. Dragging his foot, okay. Saw Powers trip and fall. Trip and fall. Yes, and to think he's supposed to be the Steel Samurai. What a laugh! So Powers sprained his ankle. I helped him make it better for him, of course. You helped make it better? I kissed it where it hurt. Alright, let's just skip over that part. Where was the assistant then? Oh, her? She was cleaning up backdrops, I think. She didn't know about Powers' ankle. You may continue your testimony. No, I don't think I'd do that. I think we've heard enough. Haven't we, Your Honor? Well, there is one thing that bothers me. Which is... Where is the Steel Samurai costume now? Actually, well, we couldn't find it. We're looking, though. Anyway, that's not important. The witness did see the Steel Samurai, yes. And it is clear that the person in the Steel Samurai suit was Mr. Will Powers. I suppose that's right. Are you sure? You're sure, Your Honor? I object because I'm Phoenix fucking Wright! Hold it right there! We keep talking possibilities, but we have to agree that this photo shows the Steel Samurai. Nowhere in this photo can we see Mr. Will Powers. The defendant has a point. Also, I also wonder if someone else not caught on camera could have killed Mr. Hammer. I have to consider that possibility also. But allow me to remove that doubt from your mind, Your Honor. Will the witness continue her testimony, please? No need to ask twice. Alright, witness's count. Time of Hammer's death was 2:30 p.m., true? The only person I saw go to the studio before then was Will Powers. No one else went there. If they had, I would have seen them. Oh, that's it? So if no one else went to the studio, then it would have to be the Steel Samurai who did it. Mr. Wright, you may you may cross-examine the witness. Time of Port Hammer's death was 2:30 p.m. True, yes. The only person I saw go to the studio before them was Will Powers. Are you absolutely sure? Oh, quite, Sonny. Nobody suspicious looking passed by me at all. Nobody suspicious looking? Right. No one else went there. What about before you got to the guard station? You mean before 1 o'clock? Why, everyone was in the employee area before then. And I locked the main gate so no one could get in. Not to mention, if they had, I would have seen them. Are you sure? The witness has answered the question. Anyone going into the studio had to pass by the witness. That's right, Sonny. You let him have it, edgy boy. Edgy boy? Well, Windbag sure has balls. Well, you know what I mean. Sheesh, Maya. I didn't know you had in you. Old Windbag may have a way of skipping over important details after all. Or, for that matter, entirely forgetting them. How convenient. Something for you to look forward to, perhaps. Nope. Hold on! Look at this photograph! One more time. This photo was taken by the camera at the gate for the studios, correct? Yes, sirree, Sonny. So, whenever anyone passes by there, it automatically takes a picture. And here I thought you didn't know your head from a hole in the ground. That's weird saying. Right. Anyway, it's also true that the computer in the guard station records all the security cam data. Oh, you know, if you wanted to work at the studio, we might have an opening, depending on how much you pay, though. That very computer printed out this photograph. Note that on the back of the photo are printed the words October 15th, 2 o'clock p.m., photo number 2. Even I know that means it was taken at 2 p.m. on October 15th. Really, Sonny? Actually, I knew that too. The issue here is the bit at the end where it says photo number 2. Photo number 2. The computer only held data for one photo on that day. Don't you think that's odd? Shouldn't this be photo number 1 if it was really the only photo? Order! Please tell the court what you mean by this, Mr. Wright. Actually, that's what I wanted to ask the witness. This evidence shows that not 1, but 2 people went to the studio that day. Yet there's only data for one of the photos. Who could have erased the data for the other photo? Only someone with access, the security lady herself. Me? You watch your mouth, whippersnapper. The only person I saw that day was Will Powers. But the camera on the gate fired twice. That means 2 people went by. Well, yes, that's what it would seem to me. Can the witness explain this to the court? I don't understand these newfangled computer things. Edgy boy, help! Believe me, I want to, but I don't know what this means either. Some help you are. You're a whippersnapper too. Aw. Uh-oh. Whippersnapper. Something the matter, Miss OldBag? That's right. I just remembered something. I'm just gonna say this now in advance when I am going to further hopefully play this game later on down the line. You will have moments where you're playing this game in court where you have a moment where you think everything's over. It's all fun. It's all done. Everything's finished. Only to have a moment where the witness either corroborates something with their testimony or story and you have to go all the way back to all your evidence that you have, possibly dismiss evidence or add new evidence, update evidence. That's basically Phoenix Wright. And basically, this is the first, I think, first real example we will see later on in the game, where we'll be testifying against people and they'll be like, oh, I just remembered something about something, or something just seemed off, or I remembered something else. Like, it's like trying to actually play lawyer and trying to figure out the two truths and a lie. But yeah, I just remembered something. Let me guess. Someone else passed by the gates, someone other than the Steel Samurai. Like the judge knows every single rule in the book at this point. Like, this is basically the same crap as usual. Well, yes, I suppose you could put it that way. What the hell's going on? I see. Your testimony, please. So the judge is like, I'm not getting paid enough for this crap. Alright, the other person. Alright, let's do it. Every day after I finish my guard duties, I have one other important job to do. I go through the photos recorded on the security computer and check them. I throw away any photos that aren't suspicious looking, you see. Come to think of it, now I remember throwing out one photo that day. Miss OldBag, this is the first I've heard of this. Well, of course, honey. I've only just remembered it. Right. Anyway, Mr. Wright, please begin the cross-examination. Let's say this was a turn for the unexpected, but I kind of expected this. Let's get this crap over with. Alright, so let's see. Every day after I fish. What do you do? How many photographs are there usually? On a day when we're open to the public, we get more than 500 people. But on filming days or rehearsal days, well, we don't have much money. Never get more than 50, and that's a big day. Do you back up all of the security camera data? Well, they keep telling me to yes, but those computers are so frustrating. I throw them all away. How exactly do you determine what isn't suspicious looking? Oh, you can tell by looking at their faces, for the most part. For the most part? This is a murder trial, Mr. OldBag. Well, I didn't touch that suspicious-looking Will Powers photo, did I? I think she's missing the point. Come to think of it now, I remember throwing that one away. But where is it? Well, who the heck was in that photo you erased? A fanboy. Fanboy? Steel Samurai fanboys, real freaks if you ask me. They get information about the rehearsals from gosh knows where. They're always hanging about. One was there that day. What? Wait a second! Didn't you just say no one else could get in? I locked the main gate so no one could get in. Those were your words. Well, if you must know, there's a drain that goes into the employee area. The grate has been loose for a while. It leads outside and, well, that's where they come in. They come in through the drain? I told you, they were freaks. Oh, and they're kids. Children. Whippersnappers. So that's what she's been calling everybody. So, you're a kid, you're a kid, you're a kid, you're a whippersnapper, you're a whippersnapper. Kids! So, on the photo that you erased, it was a boy, probably 2nd or 3rd grade. So they do specify that this kid is 10, I'm guessing from their age, but I'm going off of like what I know personally from like 2nd to 3rd grade, and maybe at minimum they're probably like 7, maybe 8 years old, but at maximum I would say it would be 10 years old. What? Order! Let me get this straight. You saw 2 people pass by the gate on their way to the studios that day. One was a Steel Samurai dragging his leg. The other was a boy who looked to be in about 2nd or 3rd grade? Oh yes. We'll see his type. We see his type there every day. Can't stop him, can't catch him. A boy in 2nd or 3rd grade. I assume it would be hard, if not impossible, for a young boy to wield the samurai spear. Impossible, I think. It's quite heavy. Right, as I said, I didn't pay him much mind. That's why I erased the data. Nick, what's going on? I mean, the boy was there. That makes him a suspect. Yeah, and they're already trying to unsuspect him. Time to frame a child for murder. This court will have a 5-minute recess. I want the defendant and the prosecution to consider this new information. And no forgetting vital information this time. Oh my god. Alright. October 18th, 11:08 a.m. District Court Defendant Lobby number 3. Mr. Powers? Yes. Tell me straight, were you really in your dressing room? You didn't go to the studio. I didn't go to the studio. I was sleeping, honest. So who's the Steel Samurai in that security photo? How should I know? The Steel Samurai costume was off in the corner of the dressing room. Anyone could have walked in and taken it, really. What? You should take better care of your stuff than... like that. I couldn't imagine anyone who would want to steal the Steel Samurai costume. So, where does this leave me? I'm gonna be honest, it doesn't look good. You're the only likely suspect right now. Nick! What are we going to do? First, we play for more time. Or start targeting someone else that could have conceivably have done this. Right. It'll take them so long to shoot us down that we can get another day. Right, but if we pick the wrong person, we might lose on the spot. We still have plenty of, space on the blue bar, so we're fine. You don't sound very optimistic. I'm not optimistic at all, actually. Hey, Nick, it's time. Okay, let's go. What's that mean? Please don't make a sign like that. Alright, back in the game, back in session. Court will now reconvene for the trial of Mr. Will Powers. Mr. Edgeworth, will you please present the prosecution's thoughts on this matter? The prosecution's thoughts are simple. Nothing has changed. The other person who went to the studios was a boy of roughly 10 years of age. The photo we do have may not be hard evidence, but there is still no one else that could have committed this crime. I call for a verdict of guilty for the defendant, Mr. Will Powers. Very well. Mr. Wright, your thoughts. The defendant disagrees with the prosecution's claim. There is another person who could have committed this crime. Order! Interesting. Let us hear what you have in mind. However, be aware that this court does not look kindly on accusing the innocent. If you accuse someone who is obviously innocent, you will be penalized. Right, great. So the stakes weren't high enough already. Alright, so see, it goes usually by 2, but later on in the game, it will take off more as the stakes get higher. So who is this person other than Powers that committed this murder? Okay, so from my original recording, I played through and I got to this point and I said the grade school boy and everybody was like, are you fucking kidding me? It's like a 10-year-old, it's like 10-year-old commits murder. Like they all mocked Phoenix and I got like a portion taken off. But we're going to say, it's the security lady, Wendy OldBag. Who? The Steel Samurai is dragging his leg in this picture. That means whoever was in the suit knew about that morning's injury. Maybe because they had been watching the action scene run through. There was only one person other than Powers and Hammer who knew about the injury. The security lady, OldBag. What? Whippersnapper! Order! Is this Truman, OldBag? OldBag, that's Miss OldBag to you! Miss OldBag was standing guard alone at the main gate. She was by herself. In other words, she has no alibi. She could have briefly left her post to steal the Steel Samurai costume, then slipped into Studio 1, the scene of the murder. Why would she go through the trouble of wearing the Steel Samurai costume? Simple, Your Honor. She knew the camera at the gate would take her picture. If she was in his costume, she could point the finger at Mr. Powers. I see. Excellent. Excellent detective reasoning, Mr. Wright. Oh yeah, right here, Sherlock Holmes II, baby. That's odd. Isn't this the part where Edgeworth pounces? Doesn't he usually jump in with an objection and some new damning evidence? Well, Mr. Edgeworth, does the prosecution have an opinion on this matter? The prosecution has no meaningful objections at this time. What? What's that supposed to mean? Oh, so you all think I did it, is that it? Edgy boy, don't just sit there, do something! What's my move? Maybe now's my chance to take this away. Press further! We ain't gonna give Granny a break! The very same reasoning that makes Mr. Powers a suspect in this case can be used to cast doubt on Miss OldBag's actions on that day. But why would I do something so horrible to poor Hannah? You forgot that Mr. Powers lacks a clear motive too. Indeed. That did it. Now Windbag is one of the suspects. No hard feelings, I hope. Wait just a minute! What about the other person who went to the studio? The boy, the one whose photo I erased. He's only a grade schooler though, as you said, 2nd or 3rd grade, wasn't it? That doesn't matter. When I was that age, I could pin my old man in 10 seconds tops. Your thoughts, Mr. Wright? That boy is not the killer, even though in my unaired episode, I did point him as the killer and murderer at the first action. What? How can you be so sure? Oh, or is it be nice to the elders and be nice to the kids and mean to your elders, Dave, whippersnapper? I have proof. Proof? Indeed, then let's see this proof, Mr. Wright. You have proof that shows the boy could not have committed the murder. Shoot. Alright, so it's not the autopsy report. It's not the card, it's not this.
Take that!
There we go. Your Honor. The weapon, the murder weapon was the samurai spear. That very spear is shown here in this photo. How could the boy have taken that spear? It's impossible. I see. Well, would the witness care to comment on this? The Windbag. Speechless. This has got to be a first. Very well. The court will suspend the proceedings on the current trial for today. Mr. Edgeworth, please find out more about your witness, Miss Windy, what was her name? Something OldBag, Your Honor. Then the prosecution will look further into this OldBag before we continue. That is all. Court is adjourned. And that is... Wait a second! I'm not just going to sit here while you run off barking up the wrong tree, me! I'm talking! Are you? Oh great, stop the presses. The Windbag wants to talk. Miss OldBag, what is this all about? Have you omitted something from your testimony? Actually, if you must know, there is something I was told not to talk about. Not talk about? By whom? Huh? You mean it wasn't Edgeworth who told her not to talk? Well, testify. Oh God, make it stop. My lips were sealed. Global Studios wanted me to keep quiet about something. There were some other people at the studios on the day of the murder. They said they had nothing to do with it, see? So they told me to just pretend they hadn't been at the studios that day. But if you're going to go accusing me, I'm not letting them get away scot-free. Oh my God. Miss OldBag! This is crucial information. Why did you keep this from the court until now? Ain't you been listening? They told me to shut my trap, and I always do what I'm told. So, let me get this straight. You were told by your boss, the higher-ups, that you were to keep this basically hush-hush. I'm guessing she's getting paid for this, or she's was threatened for her job. I don't freaking know. But basically, you were told to keep your mouth shut. You kept your mouth shut, and now you gotta deal with the consequences. No, this isn't a bad dream, Your Honor. Witness the power of the OldBag. Mr. Wright, your cross-examination. My lips were sealed. Global Studios wanted me to keep quiet.
Hold it!
Who were these people? Well, the director and the producer for starters. The director? You should have known something was fishy. How could they have done a run-through of their action scene without a director? Of course! Yes, well, I was surprised no one asked about it. So where were these people? The director was in the employee area all morning for the run-through. He joined the producer around lunchtime and they had a meeting after that. Where? Oh, in Studio 2 trailer. Studio 2? there was a Studio 2. Yes, there is. If you look back on the map earlier on in this video, we were given the map. Actually, hang on. A guide map. So yeah, we do have a Studio 1, Studio 2, a main gate, and the employee area. So yeah, we do have a Studio 2 that we have to go there after this. Well, if you look at the guide map, which we just did, there it is! Go through the gate, and all the way to the left. The path where the monkey's head was fallen over. Well, Mr. Wright, would you like to continue the cross-examination? Continue cross-examination. I said that had nothing to do with it. Miss OldBag, this is a trial for murder. I know that's silly. Still, they were pretty convincing about having nothing to do with it. And they gave me a little bonus. So yeah, they basically paid her to keep her mouth shut. Like, we know this is a big deal. We understand that this is going to affect you. But please, for the love of God, we will pay you to keep your mouth shut. So you got your bonus and you still talked. I think I've asked all the questions I've had to ask. Let's continue for now. Get as much info as you can. So they were actually in the studio. Yes, the whole day. When they heard about the murder, they beat it before the cops came. I'll kill this woman, I swear to God. I feel sorry for Edgeworth. Almost. She really left him hanging on this one. Them. Who are these people? Well, the director and the director... Okay, so yeah. Yeah, this is the same thing. Yeah, take a break. Your Honor, we have learned that there were others at Global Studios on the day in question. The director, the producer, and some bigwigs were all present. Yet, as we stand here, they have not been questioned. I hold that it is impossible to declare our verdict on the defendant, Mr. Powers. The court acknowledges the defense's point. The prosecution will gather more information about the witness, Miss OldBag, and more information about these other people we have just been told of. God damn it. I understand, Your Honor. This ends the day's proceedings in the trial of Mr. Will Powers. That is all. Court is adjourned. Finally. Yes, thank you, God. Alright, October 18th, 1:04 p.m., District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 3. Thank you so much, Mr. Wright. I was right to ask you to defend me. Oh, really? It's nothing. Or should I say, we'll be going down to the studios to do more investigation. We have to find out more about this director and producer. They'll be turning up in the next trial as witness for certain. So now's my chance to get material for the cross-examination. So, Nick, have we figured out just who it was that was in the Steel Samurai costume? Could it really have been Old Windbag? What do you think, Mr. Powers? I don't think it was her, really. Neither do I, Nick. Yeah, I know. Look, I was just buying time back there. Somebody had to be the bad guy for a bit to take pressure off of Mr. Powers. Oh, Windbag. I feel kind of sorry for her. Well, she wasn't winning any points in there, with or without my accusation. Okay, let's get down to the studios. Right. We'll be back to visit you soon. Thanks. Thanks, guys. Alright, and we've finished the trial, everyone. Or at least we finished day 1 of the trial. Yes, yes, please. Alright, so let's see. Today is the... Alright, so this is the trial we just played. Wow, I saved a lot during the trial. Let's see. Alright, so... I'm going to save this in slot number 8. and also the second trial. Alright, but that is it for today, you guys. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trials and Tribulations. If you like this, as per usual, leave a like, and please do not be afraid to watch any of my videos. I've played games such as Night in the Woods. I've played Honey Pop. I've played Undertale. I've done a lot of fun stuff and played a lot of fun games. If you like this, leave a like, subscribe, and share with a friend if they like any of the games that you've seen here. I'm Static Stardust, and I will see you guys in the next episode on this channel. Goodbye.